The entertainment industry came to a complete halt when it was revealed that Brooke Bailey had confirmed she was having a child with Jim Jones. Chrissy Lampkin took the hardest hit of all. Chrissy and Jim had been together for years, the core of hip-hop and love, a tale of endurance, love, and loyalty under public scrutiny. However, this realization felt like the epitome of treachery before a pal called to confirm what had already gone viral. Chrissy reportedly heard rumors online. According to sources, the internet was already piecing together the news when beautiful and self-assured Brooke Bailey revealed it on her live feed. Chrissy's response was honest. Witnesses near her reported she was pacing in shock, looking for Lauren. She couldn't comprehend how the man she had supported through all of the scandals could allow this to occur. As she watched videos of Brooke grinning and putting her hand on her stomach while discussing fresh startings. It was made worse by Jim's quiet. He had promised Chrissy dedication, respect, and commitment for years. All of that appeared broken now, though. Social media moved into mayhem. Fans flooded Chrissy's site with sympathy and rage, tagging her in every post as they sought answers. While some demanded that she permanently leave Jim, others accused Brooke of pursuing influence. Jim, however, said nothing. No explanations, rejections, or posts. Once famed for her poise, Chrissy was no longer able to control herself. Later, cameras caught her sobbing and murmuring, "After everything, after all these years, this is how he pays me back for all we built." It wasn't merely a breakup, it was the fall of an empire based on devotion, love, and heartache. When the story first appeared on blogs, it seemed like a social media earthquake. Chrissy Lampkin's phone was constantly ringing with calls, texts, and notifications. She initially disregarded them, thinking it was just another rumor. She and Jim Jones have withstood innumerable headlines and lies intended to destroy them. However, this time was unique. The details were too exact. The headlines were too particular, and the source was too well known. Model and reality TV star Brooke Bailey went live on Instagram looking radiant, self-assured, and clearly pregnant. In response to a fan's question about the father, Brooke grinned, paused, and stated, "Let's just say it's someone you all already know very well." Was all that was required? The internet completed its investigative work in a matter of hours and Jim Jones was identified as the culprit. When Chrissy noticed that Brooks's live video was trending, her heart fell. There was a lot of conjecture in the remarks. Hold on, is she referring to Jim? He and Chrissy just completed an interview jointly. No. This is actual. When a well-known gossip page shared a screenshot of a communication, purportedly from Brooke's close friend confirming the increel swiftly descended into turmoil. The post went viral right away. Yes, it's true. Brooke is expecting Jim's baby. Chrissy was sitting motionless in her living room, gazing at her phone. She had supported Jim through all of his careers, highs and lows, for years. The gossip and the incessant queries about why they hadn't been married. Love was enough, she persuaded herself each time. Yet this was not the same. She was unable to use loyalty to heal this harm. He wouldn't, she told herself in a whisper. Jim was nowhere to be seen, but a terrible voice in the back of my mind replied, maybe he did. His phone ended up on voicemail. Chrissy had thought he was in the studio as he hadn't been home since the night before. She was unsure of what to believe now. When she finally called his manager, she received a hesitating answer. "I believe you should speak with Jim directly." The quiet spoke it all. Social media was booming at the same time. Fans started locating old pictures of Jim and Brooke together from previous district events, casual gatherings, and red carpet appearances. Never had anything felt out of place. However, every new perspective was being used to reimagine the photograph. They had chemistry all along. I sensed something was off when Brooke started bringing up Jim in interviews. One admirer observed by midday. One headline read, "Brooke Bailey confirms pregnancy. Jim Jones named his father." Another exclaimed, "Chrissy Lampkin is heartbroken after years of loyalty." The revelation was featured prominently on every gossip blog. Videos of Brooke gently grinning at the camera were repeatedly shown. "Sometimes life surprises you in ways you never expected," was the caption for the photo. The comments were harsh, half praising her. She was half accused of demolishing the house of another woman. When Chrissy eventually broke her quiet, Brooke did not answer any of them. It wasn't through a statement or an interview. It was an ordinary Instagram tale. White writing on a dark backdrop. One-sided loyalty has a different impact. The entertainment industry was rocked by just one post alone. Fans showered her comments with encouraging words. "Girl, you're worthy of better. Give him up for good. He has been teasing you for far too long." There was an immediate outpouring of grief. But Chrissy was behind that post was rupturing. She sobbed for hours, oscillating between rage and disbelief. According to close friends, I gave him everything. She would not stop saying, according to an insider, a lot for that man. In fact, Chrissy had centered her life on Jim's career, providing him with emotional support even when he wasn't there for her. She had been patient as she waited for stability, the ring, and the dedication she believed would finally materialize. However, it seemed as though all of her investments had been in vain. Later that night, Jim was photographed by paparazzi leaving a New York restaurant when reporters inquired about Brooke's pregnancy. He remained silent and merely lowered his head and climbed in his vehicle. More was revealed by that quiet than by any denial. The video went viral within minutes with the title, "Jim Jones Refuses to Address Pregnancy Rumors." The public's perception of him drastically changed. He would deny it if it weren't real, one fan said. Another said, his silence is his confession. By midnight, Chrissy was by herself in their shared flat. The city was alive with activity outside, but inside, every memory, every promise, every time Jim claimed to have changed, and the innumerable interviews in which she had defended him were all replayed in her head as everything fell silent. She unlocked her phone once again and scrolled through Brooke's most recent post, feeling hollow after saying she was pleased with their journey despite not being married. "New beginnings and blessings I didn't see coming," the caption said of the radiant white-clad woman with her palm shielding her belly. It was the last blow. Tears streamed down Chrissy's face as she dropped her phone cheeks while she mumbled, "This is how he pays me back for all that I have done." By morning, Chrissy had been dubbed the face of heartbreak on the internet. Memes, videos with commentary, reaction videos, all centered on her suffering. Everyone was anticipating her next action. Would she openly face Jim? Would she permanently leave, or would she forgive him one final time like she had done countless times before? Nobody knew. But this time, one thing was evident. Chrissy Lampkin had undergone a permanent alteration. The woman who had always supported Jim Jones had vanished. She was replaced with a broken person who was about to grow into something stronger. The turmoil that followed Brooke Bailey's startling admission. Chrissy ultimately made the decision to go outside later that day. As she got into her car, cameras recorded her wearing big sunglasses, head down, and clearly upset. The images were on every gossip website in a matter of hours, with headlines such as "Chrissy Lampkin seen in tears after Jim Jones baby fiasco." The public was overwhelmingly sympathetic. Thousands of messages were sent to her on social media. "Remain strong. You are too skilled for this. He's not worthy of you beneath the surface." However, Chrissy struggled with anger, and she gave Jim one last call that night. This time was his response. The call was brief, emotionally charged, and tense. "Just tell me it's not true," she murmured in a quivering voice. A lengthy silence ensued. Jim sighed heavily, the sound of regret in his tone. "Chrissy," he spoke quietly. She only needed to hear, "Don't want to do this over the phone." Before he could say anything more, she hung up. Fury replaced her heartbreak. She later told Emily, "After everything I gave up for him, he didn't even possess the decency to tell me on his own." Years of love, patience, and commitment seemed pointless. Through the infidelity rumors, the unfulfilled marriage proposals, and the never-ending cycle of broken and now repaired vows, she had stood up for him against the world. Everything had collapsed into public shame. Brooke, meanwhile, was going through her own storm. She enjoyed the additionally, "I've kept quiet on a number of things that I could have spoken, but that doesn't imply weakness. I've been in love with that man for years, and even though everyone told me not to, I stuck by him. Yet, love becomes insufficient at some point. I will not allow anyone to play in my face while I sit here." Her words were genuine, raw, emotional, and profound. Fans showered the live event with love and positive remarks. The video went viral within minutes. Thought Jim finally gave a brief statement to her. The harm had been done. In an attempt to keep her mind busy, Chrissy spent the next few days with close friends and family. However, she noticed memories, pictures from the gym, and even their shared music everywhere she went. The emotional burden was unbearable. "She's not depressed." Off the record, Emily confided in a reporter. "She is mourning. It's similar to lamenting a relationship that ended before she acknowledged it." As the week progressed, further rumors emerged that Brooke and Jim had been covertly dating for months prior to her pregnancy announcement. They allegedly met at a private gathering in Los Angeles through mutual connections, and then everything occurred. It no longer mattered if something was true or not. What was important was that Chrissy felt irreparably deceived. During a brief interview outside her home, Chrissy provided a straightforward response. When asked if she intended to stay with Jim, "I'm tired of defending those who don't defend me." Her remarks reverberated on social media, igniting discussions on self-worth, loyalty, and love. Her admirers praised her as a symbol of power, but behind closed doors, she continued to suffer while attempting to find a way to heal in front of everyone. And everyone was wondering what Chrissy would do next. While Jim said nothing and Brooke's belly expanded, would she eventually leave forever, or will she be caught in the cycle one last time because of the past she shared with Jim? There was no doubt that Chrissy Lampkin had had enough of being silent, and everyone was paying attention this time. By the third week, the controversy surrounding Jim Jones, Brooke Bailey, and Chrissy Lampkin had grown into a public reckoning rather than just a scandal. Everyone had a viewpoint, each outlet had an aspect. However, Chrissy was gradually regaining her ability to breathe despite all the commotion. A terrible quiet has replaced the first shock. Tears continued to fall, but they were less frequent. Rather, she was thinking about love, devotion, and the years she had spent with a guy who never seemed to fully pick her. Her close friends observed the shift. "She's not as damaged as before," Emily muttered. "She's clear, but she's also furious." She seemed to see everything she had previously overlooked. She was also correct. Chrissy had been in love with Jim for 20 years, thinking that he would meet her halfway someday. She had been the pillar of his career, the one who'd forgiven him in private and stood up for him in public. This betrayal, however, was distinct. It wasn't merely about a different woman. It was about acknowledging the impossibility of the world she had envisioned. Jim, on the other hand, was having difficulties as a result of public criticism. Fans who used to admire him now denounced his silence and called him a coward for failing to stand up for either woman. Every day, the paparazzi followed him and asked him to comment. There were numerous calls for the truth on his social media platforms, but he remained silent. He appeared exhausted and perhaps haunted when he was eventually seen outside a recording studio. As he climbed into his car, reporters yelled questions. "Is Brooke truly expecting your child? Jim, baby, how is Chrissy doing?" His face was unreadable as he ignored them. His words wouldn't tell the story, but the shame in his eyes did. The bombshell then arrived. In a magazine story, Brooke Bailey revealed her pregnancy while posing for glossy pictures in a cream dress. Her belly showing, she made her intentions apparent during the conversation. Although she didn't specifically mention Jim. "I'm going into a new life. This baby is a blessing, not a scandal. It's a chapter in my life," she remarked. Brooks gave a little smile as the journalist gently questioned her about the rumors. "People can fall in love with complex individuals on occasion. I'm not here to destroy anything. I'm just embracing what's real." The statement quickly gained popularity and rekindled the flames. Scrolling late one night, Chrissy came across the cover. She didn't cry this time, but her chest clenched. She simply muttered, "Good luck with what you think is real." She had lived in the shadow of other people's choices for far too long. She was making her own decision this time. Chrissy did something nobody anticipated. The following morning, she purchased a ticket for Miami. Other than Emily, she kept it a secret. She was captured on tape at the airport, wearing only pants and a hoodie with her expression concealed by sunglasses. "I need space," she said to the lone reporter who got close to her. "I want tranquil." Her supporters went crazy over just one sentence. "This time she's done for good." A single blog entry. In Miami, Chrissy is heading out. Chrissy took comfort in her alone time. Going away from the sound, she found her inner self again. For the first time in years, she began journaling, taking long walks by the sea, and concentrating on her own happiness. Many months later, Chrissy went back to New York as a unique woman. Although the pain had not gone away, it had changed her. She started giving speeches at gatherings for women's empowerment, describing her experience as a lesson in self-worth rather than as gossip. She said to one audience, "I lost myself loving someone who wasn't ready to love me back." The audience exploded in cheers as he said, "But sometimes losing yourself is what it takes to find out who you really are." Chrissy Lampkin had used her suffering as motivation, standing on stages and advising other women to never accept anything less than what they deserve. Was the same woman who had previously wept over betrayal. She had rediscovered herself, purpose, and serenity. Even though her relationship with Jim Jones was over, she had just started a new chapter. Healing rather than sadness is what defines one. Let Chrissy Lampkin tales serve as a reminder if it touched you. Power doesn't always roar. It occasionally murmurs